What does manhood mean to you?
And this is a big one for me because I think it's something that we don't often talk about in relations to manhood, but being a man is also about being nurturing, right? Like nurturing is not only a woman trait. We have the ability to nurture. It can look different depending on who we are, right? But ultimately, there are always ways that we can pour into folks, that we can help cultivate the growth of folks, without like controlling their direction, but more so being supportive in ways that they have identified that they need. And so
Hi, and welcome to another edition of King Crush Thursday, the series where we highlight and uplift Black men because, frankly, not too many people are doing it. My name is Val Gay, and I'm super excited about this brother today. He is a poet, he's a manga writer, he is a mental health advocate, and he did this really cool project in Philly where he got poems written that he helped community members write stamped into the sidewalk. How cool is that? Like you walk by and you see your words or your community members' words on the sidewalk looking back at you. It's so awesome. His name is Enoch. Hey Enoch.
hello, hello. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. This is probably the highlight of my day right now. You know, the rainy weather is not the vibe.
Awesome. I hear you. I hear you. I'm so glad that you are here and you just made my day. And as I look at it, we're kind of like color coordinated and whatnot. It's
Yeah,
awesome,
just a little
right?
bit, just a little bit.
It's awesome. Awesome. Excellent. Well, I'm so glad you're here because this conversation is yet another element that is wedging the window open, the very myopic window that our society seems to have about Black men.
Mm, mm,
Usually it's one to two, maybe three different stereotypes, and everybody else has to fit into that.
mm.
And what we know through society
So
and
all of
just in
those
our
things
lived
together
experience is that Black
uh,
men are as
play into
varied as the number of
how
Black men
manhood
walking on the
functions for
planet.
me. Absolutely.
We want to give you an opportunity to have a voice here. And hopefully, one day, a young king who may or may not have positive Black male role models can come to this repository and see
Mhm,
your 6 questions answered by you,
mhm.
along with hundreds of other positive and successful Black men, and hopefully find guidance there. And then for the rest of us who are neither male or even Black, for us to be able to come to the same repository and hopefully find our eyes open, hopefully find more than what we see in the media. And so I'm so glad you're here. And I want to get started with the first question, which is what does manhood mean to you?
Oh man. Um, So I'm gonna give a disclaimer that I purposely never look at the questions in advance so I can make sure I give the most genuine answer. Which also means I might pause before I answer some of these Jones. Um, I think for me at least, I think about manhood very similar to how I think about just being a human in general. Which is not to say that I think to be human is to be a man, but more so that I don't think there's a way I can be a good man without being a good human. Or for actually, let me change that word because I try to stay away from good and bad. I don't think there's a way for me to be a quality man without being a quality human. So for me, manhood is a lot about one, standing on business for sure, making sure that I am exactly who I say I am, not only in word, but also in action. Everybody in any any area that they meet me in, whether that be the professional area or the arts area or the arts profession area or just regular life, should be able to pinpoint all the ways in which I am doing exactly what I'm speaking. I think another part of it for me is also caring for a community. I feel like in general, when we are in relation with folks, we are making the unspoken agreement to hold some level of care and responsibility for each other's well-being, right? Now, that doesn't mean that I have to like people please or self-abandon to get that done, but it does mean that I will do the work to make sure I am accountable and also do the work so that I can make sure I'm holding community members accountable from a space of love. Showing improving, holding myself and other community members accountable from a space of love. And then I think lastly, and this is a big one for me because I think it's something that we don't often talk about in relations to manhood, but being a man is also about being nurturing, right? Like nurturing is not only a woman trait. We have the ability to nurture. It can look different depending on who we are, right? But ultimately, there are always ways that we can pour into folks, that we can help cultivate the growth of folks without like controlling their direction, but more so being supportive in ways that they have identified that they need. And so all of those things together uh, play into how manhood functions for me.
That's beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Enoch. So, Enoch, who and or what is important to you?
Cool, man. A lot of people. I think so. I'm really big on family, but I don't mean that in like the traditional sense. Us being blood just means that we're relatives. That's all that means. We are related. Family to me is not about like blood relativity. It's more so about the continued showing up for one another. So I don't even necessarily subscribe to like chosen family. I feel like the people I choose are inherently my family. I don't need to like prefix to justify it. So family is super important to me. I have been blessed with a phenomenal friend group of black men that I consider brothers. And when I say like a phenomenal group, I mean like it's in the double digits, right? Like it's like a solid like 12 of us that are all in relation and all growing together. And like I'm super grateful for all the ways that they have both like supported me, poured into me, helped me through tough periods. And I definitely consider them family. So they're really important to me. My fiance, soon to be wife, is super important to me, as well as my mom and sister and all of like those relatives who I also consider family. You know what I'm saying? And I think on a larger scope, Black community is really important to me. And also want to like specify when I say Black community, I genuinely mean everybody. Because a lot of us sometimes we say Black community, but we mean specific groups within that diaspora. But I genuinely mean everybody from whatever your gender identity is to whatever your religious identity is. If you are Black, I am invested in your well-being in some form or facet, and I want to see you do well. I want to see you on a healing journey. I want to see you, you know, progressing through life in a way that is conducive not only to yourself but to those around you. Um, and then like all the arts things, you know what I'm saying? Poetry. I'm a big anime nerd, love manga. Big comic book nerd as well. All things involving like creativity and the engagement with creativity. And food, because I love to cook, which is just an extension of creativity. So yeah.
That's awesome. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for that. So, Enoch, how do you want us to see you?
Mm. Ooh, how do I want people to see me? I think for one, I pride myself on being consistent. I'm a very consistent person. To the point where if somebody tells you I'm not consistent, I feel like they're lying. So I definitely want that to be a way people view me as well. Like I value being dependable and being somebody that people know not only that I will show up, but how I'll show up. Also want people to view me as a good communicator because it's something that I work really, really hard on. I am both like somebody with clinical depression and on the spectrum. And so a lot of like just social norms and things don't come easy to me. And I have put in a lot of work to be able to show up the way that I do. And so, yeah, being a good communicator, as well as like being somebody that when people think about folks who were invested in their well-being, like I want to be someone that comes to mind. Like I would love for people to be able to like look back on their relationship with me, no matter how long or short it is. It could be one interaction or it could be multiple interactions over years. And for them to be able to say, like, yo, he poured into me in some type of way that had ripple effects throughout the rest of my lived experience.
That's awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, question 4 is, what is your epic dream?
Oh, what is my epic dream? Oh man. It's funny because like this was a couple months ago. I was thinking about I was in like a workshop or something and they were asking like what's something we dream of doing. And I really be feeling like I'm doing like all the things that like I dream of. Like I've been a professional creative for a long time now, and went from, I transitioned from doing full-time artistry as like an independent contractor to now being a program director for Artwell, which is still like very much arts oriented. I'm a very active community member, as you mentioned, like a mental health advocate. I'm deeply invested in both trauma informed and healing center engagement practices and have like immersed that in the pedagogy of my life. I have a beautiful partner. I'm a homeowner now. And so it's like a lot of even, my manga that I write is in comic book stores. So there's like a lot of things that I envision myself doing that I am currently doing, and that feels great. I think maybe the two things on my list that haven't happened yet, I would love to have an anime. So, hopefully my manga evolves into a thing that's in motion. Um, and then I think, the last thing on there is having a kid. There's like I genuinely like want children, like not from a like, oh man, like I want to birth someone who doesn't make the mistakes I make, like type of vibe. Is I just really look forward to fathering and being able to instill into a human being like things that will evolve them past where I evolved to. Like that sounds so amazing. Especially like if I could help them move through or avoid like some of the things I experienced as a child. So yeah, I think those are the moving parts of my epic dream, as well as universal healthcare and the erasure of capitalism. But yeah, yeah.
I got it. I got it. It's a beautiful dream. That's awesome. Excellent. Thank you. So, Enoch, you've been answering question 5 all along implicitly, but I'm going to ask you explicitly. Mr. Enoch, fill in
Mhm.
the last name or descriptor. after that. Who are you?
Ha ha ha. Um, I am a black male identifying human being who is very invested in exploring creativity and the provision and maintaining of freedom, whatever that looks like for the different members of my community. Um, I'm an artist, I'm a poet, I'm a writer, I'm a lover of people, which some people will watch this and be like, the people that know me, they be like, bro, you don't like people. But like I love the human experience. And the process of being alive, which is definitely not something I could have said um, a few years ago for sure. Uh, and yeah, also I feel like I'm a low key chef. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Excellent. So here we are already at question 6, which
Mm.
is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or you wanted me to ask you that I didn't? In other words, what did I miss?
Hmm. Hmm. It's a great question. Um, there could be so many things because I do so many things. I think you touched on like all the important aspects of like understanding me as a human for sure. Um, this is not a specific question. This isn't a specific question because I don't know how to formulate it into a question. Um, but maybe something around like the actual work and like how that like manifests in real time. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm a program director for a nonprofit called Artwell. We are an arts-based nonprofit that is geared towards using the process of making art to teach students social emotional learning, community activism, and expand their capacity for empathy. But outside of that, and within that, I do a lot of work around using the arts as a means to help students navigate adverse experiences. I teach with the Bartow Foundation. I teach other educators on how to be more trauma informed in the classroom. And I would say, like, all of this work is centered around helping us understand how to be more humanistic, especially in a city like Philadelphia that is predominantly black, which means it is also predominantly systemically oppressed because those two things are tied together, no matter where you fall on the income spectrum. Um, and so a lot of my work, even like a lot of what I create and write, is geared towards like exploring that mental health process and grappling with, a lot of the wounds that we are either in the process of nursing or hope to be nursing at some point in time in our continued lives.
Mm, that's beautiful. Awesome. That is so awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much. Like you said, you do so much. I have so much to say. I try to. And while you're speaking and I'm asking you the questions, I just want the camera to be on you so that we can hear from you. And so I use the time in the beginning of the interview and at the end, like right now, to say all the things I got to say. So it's so much with you. Like, just congratulations on your upcoming marriage. I'm just gonna say it in advance. I'm just gonna speak it into existence. Congratulations, Dad. You
Oh,
know,
thank you. I love that.
there's just so many things. Artwell. Shout out to Susan Teagan, founder of Artwell, and just that creating a space for so many people to be healed through the arts is really amazing, especially our children. Just again, just thinking about who you are in the world and how you are in the world, how you move through the world is so important. And it's important that people hear you and get to see you. And so I honor you, my king. I pray that your epic dreams, all parts of it, especially that last part, come through
Thank you.
sooner rather than later. And I just am just really grateful for you. I look forward to seeing your anime and all of that, right? So it's so much, so much. And again, just thank you so much for being here, Enoch.
Yeah, thank you for having me and for reaching out. And I'm sure given your role, we will cross paths, again, at some juncture, hopefully. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to now that we know each other. Yeah, just continue relationship building and opportunities to collaborate.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. And I want you to stay right there because I want to thank the audience for joining us today. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. And if there's a positive and successful Black man in your life who you want to see highlighted and you want to hear from in this forum, please click the link below or in my bio, fill out the nomination form, and we'll take it from there. We have just seen so many incredible men like Enoch who are unique in their own way, and we need to hear from them. We need to hear from these positive and successful men in your life. I always say success does not equal what someone does for a living. They may be doing really impactful and healing work like Enoch is doing or not. What I'm really interested in are those men who are making a difference in their community and making a positive impact in their community, as long as what they're doing is both legal and not hurting anybody. Those are my only caveats. Other than that, I don't really care what they do for a living because we need all of us to contribute to a healthy and just society. So in the meantime, please stay tuned next week for yet another amazing king. And please remember to spread love and have a great day. Thank you so much. And Enoch, thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you.
Adios.
Hey.